Hello YouTube, Stormiegrrl here. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to go through my settings that I set up in the MCM menus whenever I start a new game. I normally cut it out of the video because I thought it might be boring, but a few people have expressed an interest in what I do. And I know it's a little overwhelming sometimes because there's a lot of settings to go through. Now, I don't claim to know what all of them do, and I don't mess with all of them, but I will show you the ones that I personally like to tweak a little bit. Now, this is just my personal preference. You don't have to do any of these. I'm just going to show you what I like to do. A lot of these, like I said, I don't mess with. All right, if I skip any of these, it just means it's something that I don't personally fiddle around with. All right, so the first thing that I do, I go to these, at your own pace. AYOP, that's at your own pace. College of Winterhold. I don't like to draw these out, so I turn these down. I just put the ritual quest to 1. Okay, for the companions, look at this. You would have to do 10 quests before you got to Proving Honor, which is the first one that they give you, to be able to join the companions. That is going to draw it out so much. I am all about not, taking forever to do something like that. So I put them down to 1, 2, and 3. Could you imagine having to do 40 quests to get to the final Blood's Honor quest in the companions line? That would take an ungodly amount of time. But some people want to draw it out. I don't. And I usually put the weapon skill needed to become Harbinger. I thought it was Harbinger, but Harbinger. I put that at 50. All right, at your own pace, the main quest. All right, I leave all these alone. Yeah, I leave those alone. Okay. The Thane overhaul. It says friends needed to become Thane. The vanilla game is 5, and I usually put it back on 5. Okay, here's what I changed, because look at these house prizes. Normally in the vanilla game, the Whiterun house is 5,000 gold. Look how much it is, 25,000 gold. I was like, how long would that take you to get a house? If you, like I said, if you want to be able to, draw it out, leave it alone. But me, I don't want to have to take that long to be able to buy the house in Whiterun. So I put that one at 5. And then I just add 5 grand to each one after that. So, because I don't remember exactly how much they cost in vanilla, but I'll go to Riften and I'll turn it to 10. Markarth, I'll turn it to 15. Windhelm, I'll turn to 20. And then Solitude, I put at 25. You can put them at whatever you want. That's just the way I do it. Okay, and then Thieves Guild. Let's see. Radiance per city quest, I put that down to 1. City quest required is fine. I just, like I said, I don't want to have to do a million of these little tiny quests to get where we need to be. Radiance outside of cities, I uncheck that because I don't want it sending me over to Solstheim at the beginning of the game, which it'll do sometimes, things like that. And I set the Bedlam job start at 500. Okay. Better third person selection. The only thing that I really mess with here is on the filter. I make sure that it says stealing while undetected. Sometimes I'll put it on stealing only while sneaking. It just depends on how I feel. Dirt and Blood I don't really want to mess with. So I'll go in and I'll say deactivate it. If you like it, leave it on. You can take off any of these options if you want to. Like water required for bathing. You can put it on swimming is as effective as bathing. That way if you jump in the river, you get clean. Okay, Dragonborn voiceover, pick a voice. If you don't want to use Dragonborn voiceover, then don't pick a voice. This is entirely up to you. It should be off as a default. It remembers your setting from last time. So I usually pick Bella because in this mod list, Bella has the most content covered. You can mess with the conditional idols as well. I don't because I like the way they have it set, but if you do or you don't want any of these things to show, like for instance, shield cover, if you're carrying a shield, you'll hold it over your head if it's raining, stuff like that. All right, in experience, I go into general. Okay, and this, I think the skills down here is normally at 18, and the skill cap base is at 18, and the multiplier is at 2. And I put those to skill cap base 100 and skill cap multiplier at 0. Oh, and go to bed, you can later on, if you get some sleepwear that you want to use, you can set it up here. Go into sleepwear and hit add. And then you add it here. Like name it, whatever you want to name it. Once you add a sleepwear, then you can set it here. It'll be on the list. And then you can say where you want to use it when you go to sleep. Like if you don't want to use it in a dungeon, don't check the dungeon. If you want to use it when you go to sleep in these certain places. All right, helmet toggle. I usually want to manage helmets, masks, and hats. Hoods, I think if you're going to use a hood, well, no, we'll do them all. All right, hide them in safe locations. I just check all of these. I don't know if you need to or not, I just do. If you want to do this for your followers or for NPCs as well, you can check these buttons. Toggle to enable the workaround to prevent premature baldness. Mods that change hair to wigs, for example. Hoods won't be lowered, but hidden instead for NPCs or followers. If you have a problem with the baldness, do that. Okay. Hone metal. I always come in and I say NPCs have other materials. And I don't want to wait for them, so I put all these to 0. Like I said, these are all my personal preferences. You do not have to do this. Immersive spell learning. I personally don't care for this mod because it just makes time pass and you get tired and you get hungry and you get thirsty. So what I do is I just put it on, I can't remember what the default was, but I put mine on exhaustion is 0. Enable spell forgetting, and then the studying time multiplier, I think it was on 100 by default. So I put it on 0. And if you want to, you can turn off the animation or the fade to black. It's up to you. Okay, Legacy of the Dragonborn settings. I go in and I put stash items spell on and outfit swap spell on. And then I go down to the bottom here and I shipment crate locations. I click on all 3 of these. Okay, and then go to craft loot. Now, craft loot does not actually work as far as pulling items to use while you're crafting and stuff, but it's a good place to stash your things. So what I do is I don't want it taking my potions, so I take a check mark out of potions, and I don't want it taking my cooked food, so I put take the check mark out of that. Other than that, it's going to sort all these things for me. So if there's something you don't want it to pull, then uncheck it. Like for instance, soul gems, if you're trying to fill those up, uncheck it. All right, NFF, Nether's Follower Framework. This is a big one for me because I use it a lot. All right, I go into activity. You're gonna have different settings initially than I do because this has already saved my settings, but let's see, I go in and I ignore special furniture, stop during player dialogue, only sandbox in town, only sandbox in non-dungeon. I put check marks in all of those. Mount support is spawned horses. If you don't want all your followers to have horses, you can remove that. You can put it on no support. All right. Auto looting. I put mine on max search time 300 seconds, which is the highest it goes. I changed the looting speed to 300, which is not the highest it goes, but that's where I like it. Drop miscellaneous junk items. That's default, I think, at 100. If you want it to show the notifications that what they're looting, put a check mark in this. Follower looted notification. Set yourself a key for start, stop, auto loot. I don't put a check mark in auto loot after combat, otherwise they're just going to automatically do it, and you don't always want them to do. So just set a hotkey and do it yourself. Under gameplay, I have reduced infighting checked. Unrelenting for. I don't know if these are default or not because I can't remember. I've already got all this set, so. But you can set these however you want. You can share gold with your followers if you want to. Why not? You know, if you feel like you have a lot of money and you want to make it a little tougher for economy or something, pay your followers. Okay, I put learn spells from books. I put a check mark in that. Teach spells you know. Teach spells dialogue, check that. Spells learned notification, check that. Allow skill affinity, I check that, and then I put the affinity chance modifier at 25%. That's just gonna allow you to learn things from your followers. Okay, on interaction, I put a check mark in allow import export dialogue. I allow them to create arrows, potions, sharpen weapons, drink at the tavern, allow drunk effect, and allow player interaction. Let's see, in the main dialogue features, you could check any of these you want. I just put it on dismiss steward. Extra storage, I would set up hotkeys for player chest hotkey, open player chest. That way you can set your chest on the ground if you want to, or I hit O and it automatically opens the chest for me. Optional companions, I usually click on Winterhold Mages and Thieves Guild members and put a check mark in sell items. That way your followers can sell things for you, although I don't believe that you get quite as much money when they do it. And you can set a hotkey for it if you want to. Okay, system. I go down and I hit colored notifications, only just because I like them. There's no reason not to, there's no reason to. But hit save to file. That way, next time you go to play, you can just load it from a file and you don't have to go through all that again. Now, follower tweaks, you don't do that until you get followers, so I can't really show you that. And you can set up a home base once you find a place that you want to set up a home base. You can't do it right now, but like, for instance, the Legacy of the Dragonborn Museum, you could just click on Create Base, and then you'll rename that base, like LOTD or whatever, and then set it as home. And then you'll be able to set your followers to live there. Pickup radius. I have it on always on. Radius 2200 units. That way it'll pick up anything within that radius. I have it on crosshair. Keyword item match, but you can match it whatever you want. Allow stealing no, because you don't want to get in trouble. I have it on flora and critters, but you don't need that if you don't want it. Put it on one or the other, or both, and then save that. You can filter things, like there's a blacklist here of things you don't want it to pick up. You can do that, okay? Quick light, it's a nifty little light. By default, the hotkey is the L, but I'm using a controller, so I set it as my left D-pad. And I believe on default it's slightly bright. I like it wide because it lights up a bigger area. Quick loot, i.e. I enable when mounted so I can see on horseback. Other than that, I believe I just leave it all the way it is. RASS, rain, ash, snow, something. What does it stand for? I think that's it. Rain, ash, snow, something. I don't like stuff on the camera, so I turn off the water drops, the dust waves, the water drops. I turn all those off. Shadow of Skyrim, which is your alternate death mod. You can set these a little bit if you want to. They have it set up pretty well, but I like to go over here to where it says reward at and above and put it on 0. That way you can get buffs no matter what level the nemesis is. Okay, on defeat. I don't want to take my stuff, so I turn that to 0. The max inventory dropped. I'll let it drop a little bit of gold. And it's got nemesis takes and uses your items. I uncheck that. And drop items on accidental defeat. I uncheck that. Respawn at, right now it's situational, but I'm going to put it at last locations. Seems to want to put me in the weirdest spots. I've had it put me places I can't even get out of. Hostile location chance, I'm going to put that at 0 because I don't want it spawning me in a hostile location. Simple fishing overhaul. I put my camera mode at no force changes, and I uncheck bait is required. And simple hunting overhaul, I disable fade to black and time pass because I don't want time to pass. And I uncheck hunter's permit, skinned animal look, and horse skinning. By default, these are on. I don't care for them, so I took them off. Simplest horses. I put mine on mounts confidence at cowardly, always flee, because I don't want my horse getting killed. Although I do put it on protected, so I guess it wouldn't matter that much. But you can protect your mount here. Sky UI. Because I am half blind, I always put my font size at large. Okay, smooth cam. Go into the preset part of smooth cam. And you've got all these different presets. You can try them out. This one is mine. Obviously, it says mine. So I always just load it. You want to load a preset. Otherwise, you've got that weird rubber bandy feeling with your controls. To me, it makes me motion sick. So I loaded mine. Okay, head back up to the top and hit next page. And Winter Sun Faiths. I like to disable Daedric Prince quest requirements. Disable race requirements. I like to have favor gain from praying at 2, favor loss at 0, and disable apostasy, which prevents your deity from abandoning you. Okay. Once you've done all that, if you're not familiar with Mod Organizer, it's going to put all those things into your overwrite, okay? Mine did not because the fact that I've already done it. My settings. See, I have a little mod called My Settings from Overwrite. If you look, this is what you would see in your overwrite. I have MCM, settings, all my settings, Nemesis, SKSE. Okay, all my settings, all my configurations. So the way that I made this mod was I went to the overwrite and after I did all the settings in mod configuration menu, and I came out here and I clicked on overwrite, right click on overwrite and hit create mod. Call it whatever you want. I called mine My Settings from overwrite. Here's an example. I'm going to delete this one, but you hit create mod. My Settings. Test. You say okay. And then you can just drag it, literally just click and drag and then check mark. Okay, and that will save your settings, because if you take and right click and clear override, you're going to lose all those settings that you just set up. So if you don't want to make it into a mod, just don't clear your override, just leave it. And it's just that easy to do. So anyway, I hope this helped you. If it did, please consider liking and subscribing. You could leave me a comment if you want to. And if you have any questions, I definitely read all the comments and I try to reply to them all. So I hope to see you for the next video, and take care.